Let me ask you something, and I need you to really sit with this before you scroll past. When's the last time you prayed for something, believed for it, and then did absolutely nothing different the next day? Yeah, that's what I thought. Because here's the thing most people won't say out loud. The reason your life hasn't changed isn't because God forgot you. It's not because you're unlucky. It's not even about money, opportunity, or where you grew up. It's because your mind is still running the same old program, the same fears, the same hesitation, the same loop of "I'm waiting on God," when honestly, God has been waiting on you. That's not an attack. That's an invitation. Stay with me. You know that feeling when you wake up, and for just a second, life feels possible. Like today could be different. Today you'll finally start. Today something shifts. And then you look at your bank account, or you think about that business idea you've had for 2 years, or you replay that conversation where someone told you you'd never make it. And that feeling? Gone. Just like that. You go back to scrolling, back to the same routine, back to "I'm trusting God." But you're not really trusting anything. You're just waiting, hoping something falls from the sky, so you don't have to face the fear of trying and failing. I know that sounds harsh, but I also know you've heard this pattern described in church 100 times. Faith, believe, receive, and you've tried that, and it hasn't worked, and nobody's talking about why. That's what we're going to get into today. Because this isn't a video about religion. It's about the psychology of why good people stay stuck, and the spiritual principle that breaks the whole thing open. You've been told that faith is about waiting. But the original meaning of faith, in the biblical sense, in the philosophical sense, in the psychological sense, has nothing to do with passivity. The word faith, in the original Greek, is pistis. It doesn't mean sit and hope. It means conviction so strong, it changes your behavior. Read that again. Conviction so strong, it changes your behavior, which means the moment you say "I have faith," but you're still acting afraid, you don't actually have faith, you have a wish. And wishes don't move mountains, decisions do. This is where it gets uncomfortable. And I'm not here to make you feel bad. I'm here to make you feel awake. Let's talk about your mind for a second, because this is where the real war is happening. There's something psychologists call the scarcity mindset. And it's not just about money. It goes deeper than that. When you've grown up watching your parents stress about bills, when you've been told, "Stay safe, don't take risks, be grateful for what you have," when you've failed before and been embarrassed, your brain starts to build a wall, and behind that wall it puts every dream, every opportunity, every version of you that could actually thrive. And then it guards that wall like its life depends on it. Because to your nervous system, playing small feels safe. The brain doesn't want you to be rich. It wants you to survive. And surviving looks like staying where you know what to expect, even if what you expect is misery. This is why smart people stay broke. This is why talented people stay unknown. This is why people with vision stay stuck in the same apartment, the same job, the same arguments with the same people for years on end. It's not a God problem. It's a nervous system problem. It's a belief problem. It's a programming problem. And here's the kicker. Most people use spirituality to reinforce the wall instead of tearing it down. God will provide, sure, but God also gave you hands. This is the part that's going to sting a little. And I say it with love. Some of what you're calling waiting on God is actually fear. Some of what you call peace is actually avoidance. Some of what you call trusting the process is actually procrastination wrapped in spiritual language. And I get it, because fear wearing a holy disguise is still fear. Think about it. When was the last time you felt led to do something that was comfortable, that required zero sacrifice? Zero risk? That's not faith, that's preference. Real faith has always moved toward the hard thing. Moses didn't wait at the Red Sea, hoping it would part while he sipped water. He raised his staff. David didn't wait for Goliath to fall asleep. He ran toward him. The disciples didn't become world changers by sitting in a room. They went out, scared, unqualified, broke, and did the thing anyway. Here's the hard truth. God doesn't reward your prayers as much as He rewards your movement. Let that breathe. There's a verse, James 2:17. Most people have heard it. Faith without works is dead. They nod at it in church. They post it on Instagram, and then they go home and do nothing with it. But here's what that verse is actually saying in psychological terms. Belief without behavior produces nothing. Your mind will never fully believe something until your body acts like it's true. Read that again too. Your mind will never fully believe something until your body acts like it's true. This is why therapists and neuroscientists will tell you that confidence doesn't come before action. It comes from action. You don't wait until you feel ready. You move until you feel ready. And this is where spirituality and psychology meet in the most beautiful, practical way. When the Bible says faith the size of a mustard seed can move mountains, it's not talking about the size of your prayer. It's talking about the specificity of your action. A mustard seed is tiny, but it's planted, it's in the ground, it's doing something. You can't grow a tree by holding the seed in your hand. Let's go a layer deeper, because I think you know all of this, and yet you're still not moving. So why? It's not laziness. I want to take that label off you right now. It's not that you don't care. It's not even that you lack discipline. It's that some part of you believes, deep beneath the surface, that even if you tried, it wouldn't work for you. You've watched other people succeed and thought, yeah, but their situation is different. They had connections, they had money, they didn't grow up like me, and maybe some of that is true. But here's what's also true. You've been using those stories as proof that your future is already decided. That's not faith, that's fate. And fate is just fear with a philosophy attached. The psychological term for this is learned helplessness. It's when you've been knocked down enough times that your brain literally stops trying. Not because you can't win, but because you've convinced yourself you can't. And this right here, is the mental prison the title is talking about. You're not broke because of bad luck. You're trapped because of bad beliefs. And bad beliefs don't get fixed by more prayer alone. They get fixed by prayer and pattern interruption, by faith and confrontation, by belief and bold, terrifying, uncomfortable action. Here's the new perspective I want to plant in your mind today. God isn't trying to give you a better life while you stay the same person. He's trying to grow you into the kind of person who can handle a better life. Think about that, because that changes everything. If you got the money right now, with the mindset you have right now, what would actually happen? Most lottery winners are broke again within 5 years, not because money is bad, but because their mind wasn't ready for it. So when it feels like your blessing is delayed, maybe it's not delayed, maybe it's protected. Protected from a version of you that would waste it, destroy it, sabotage it, because deep down, you still don't believe you deserve it. And that, right there, that's the real work. Not working harder, working deeper. Okay, let's get practical, because inspiration without instruction is just entertainment. Here's a 3-step framework. Simple, real, tested. Step 1. Identify the lie. Every stuck person has a core belief that's holding them back, and it's usually not obvious. It hides under, I'm being realistic, or I'm just being careful. So here's what I want you to do. Take out a piece of paper, or your phone notes, whatever, and write down the last 3 times you had an opportunity and you didn't take it. A business idea, a conversation you didn't start, a course you didn't sign up for, a risk you didn't take. Now ask yourself, what was I afraid of? Not the surface answer, the real answer. What if I look stupid? What if I try and it doesn't work? What if it works and I still feel empty? That fear, that's the lie, that's the wall, and you can't break through a wall you can't see. Step 2. Replace the script. Here's something neuroscience has confirmed. Your brain responds to the stories you tell it, literally. The same neural pathways that fire when you experience something fire when you vividly imagine it. This is why visualization works, not as magic, as mental rehearsal. So instead of replaying every failure, every rejection, Every time someone doubted you, start telling your brain a different story, not fake positivity, real possibility. I've figured out hard things before. I don't have all the answers, but I can find them. My past doesn't determine my ceiling. Say it every day, not because it feels true yet, but because repetition is how beliefs form. This is literally how your limiting beliefs got there in the first place. Someone told you a story enough times that your brain adopted it as truth. You can reverse engineer that. Step 3. Take the smallest possible move, not the big leap, the smallest move. Because your nervous system will resist any change it perceives as threatening. So you don't try to run a marathon on day 1. You put your shoes by the door. You don't try to launch the business today. You spend 30 minutes researching one thing. Momentum is a force, but it starts slow, almost embarrassingly slow. Think about a car that's been sitting in a driveway all winter. The engine's cold, the battery's low. It takes effort to get it moving, but once it starts rolling, it warms up fast. The physics shift. What felt impossible 2 blocks ago feels effortless 5 blocks later. That's your life right now. You're not broken. The engine's just cold. Start the car. Here's where I want to bring it back together, because this isn't about choosing between faith and psychology. It's about understanding that they're describing the same thing from different angles. Neuroscience says, your beliefs shape your perception shapes your decisions shape your reality. The Bible says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Same truth, different vocabulary. The problem is that most of us have been taught spirituality as a substitute for self-responsibility. Pray more, work less, wait more, try less, trust God more, trust yourself less, and what that produces is not holy, it produces helpless. Real spiritual growth has always been about becoming more courageous, more disciplined, more honest, more willing to be uncomfortable for the sake of something greater. You want God to move in your life? Become someone He can move through. Because here's how it actually works. God doesn't usually send resources to people. He sends them to positions. And you get into position by moving, by doing, by showing up even when it doesn't make sense. Think about Joseph in the Bible. The guy went through betrayal, slavery, prison. Was he waiting? Was he passive? No. In every single environment he found himself in, he worked, he served, he brought excellence to the worst circumstances imaginable. And then the door opened. But if he'd sat in that prison feeling sorry for himself, waiting for a sign, the door stays closed. That's not a Bible story. That's a blueprint. I want to talk to whoever's been holding this weight for years. You've tried. I know you have. You've prayed until you were empty. You've believed until the belief started to feel like a lie. You've watched people around you succeed, and you've smiled through the bitterness of wondering why not you. And somewhere along the way, you started to think that maybe you were the problem, that maybe you weren't chosen, that maybe the life you imagined for yourself was just a fantasy that worked for other people. I need you to hear this. You were not built for average. You know this because average doesn't bother you the way it should, if that's what you were made for. The fact that you're still watching, still seeking, still hungry for something more, that's not coincidence. That's a signal. The pain you feel about where you are right now is your soul trying to show you the distance between where you are and where you're supposed to be. The gap isn't punishment. The gap is a call. But you can't cross it by praying on one side and staying there. Here's a deep truth I want you to hold. God doesn't change your circumstances to change your life. He changes your mind first, and then your life follows. Always in that order. The miracle isn't usually the money appearing. The miracle is the day you stop being afraid of trying. The moment your relationship with risk shifts. The morning you wake up, and for the first time in years, you actually believe you can. That's the miracle. The circumstances are just the evidence that comes after. So let's bring this home. Before, you were someone who prayed and stayed still, who had dreams and had excuses, who wanted more but kept choosing safe. After, You're someone who understands that faith is a verb, that God rewards movement, that your mind is the battlefield, not your bank account, that every expert was once a beginner who was terrified and did it anyway. The version of you that you keep imagining, financially free, purposeful, unafraid, that person already exists in your mind, in your prayers, in the quiet moments where you let yourself hope. The only distance between you and that person isn't talent, isn't luck, isn't even time. It's a decision, and then another, and then another, small, consistent, done in fear, done anyway. Before this video ends, I need you to do one thing, not tomorrow, right now. Think of the one thing you've been waiting on God for, that you actually haven't moved toward at all. Now write down the smallest possible action you could take in the next 24 hours. Not the plan, not the whole strategy, just the first step. Maybe it's sending one email, making one phone call, writing the first paragraph, registering the domain, opening the savings account. One move. Because here's what happens when you take that move. Your brain gets evidence. Evidence that you're someone who does things, and that evidence rewires the story, slowly, surely, until one day you look back and you don't even recognize the person you used to be. That's not wishful thinking. That's neuroscience. That's scripture. That's just how change works. Now, if this video hit you somewhere real, I want you to think about something. What's the belief that's been running your life without your permission? Because there's a video on this channel that goes even deeper into how childhood conditioning programs your adult decisions and how to rewire it without years of therapy. It's one of the most important things I've ever put together. Find it, watch it, and come back changed. Because you didn't stumble into this video by accident. Something in you is ready. The only question is whether you're going to let that readiness become something, or just let it feel good for 20 minutes and go back to the same life. One last thing, subscribe to this channel for more life-changing videos like this one and others on the channel. See you on the next one.